The White House also under pressure on the economy and the issue of affordability as costs remain high, especially on grocery items, despite President Trump's insistence that prices are coming down. According to NBC News' latest grocery price tracker, the price of orange juice, as well as beef, bacon, and chicken, are all up at least 5% compared to last year. On Friday, the Trump administration announced it was rolling back tariffs on some food products, including coffee, bananas, and beef. One of the administration's top economic officials insisted tariffs do not lead to higher prices, but says this rollback will lead to lower prices.
How soon do we expect the prices on those goods now to go down?
Right. Well, the prices for those goods weren't necessarily going up just because of tariffs, and so the prices will go down. Well, the prices will go down, of course, but
because the tariffs have been taken off.
Right. Well, and because the supply of the goods into the U.S. is going to increase.
And NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung joins me now, doing double duty for us. Kelly O'Donnell is back with me from the White House. Brian, I'll start with you. Just break it down for our viewers. Did tariffs lead to higher prices?
Yeah, well, look, it depends on what item that you're looking at. And we just showed some of those statistics that we pulled here at NBC News over the cost of groceries that you might be buying on a weekly basis going up substantially since last year. When you take a look, especially at orange juice, where prices were up nearly 30%. Now, a lot of people might point to that 50% tariff on Brazil, where a lot of orange juice comes into this country. Well, yes, certainly a 50% tariff could incentivize some producers to raise prices substantially on Americans. But I should also point out there are drought conditions and also some fruit-borne illnesses that led to a lack of supply of orange juice as well, even prior to the tariffs being put into effect. So as is always the case with prices, it's hard to say exactly what percentage is due to the tariffs and what is not. But I think any importer, any company will tell you that if you're talking about a 20, 30, 50% tariff on something, that's going to make prices go higher, not make them lower, which makes that this relief should be substantially welcome, at least in the industries that are affected here.
And, you know, Brian, we talked about these tariff rollbacks. They actually were announced, I believe, on Friday around 5 p.m. Quite the news dump there. Walk our viewers through what exactly those tariff rollbacks are.
Yeah, and I think, Gabe, it's fair to say that these rollbacks are the most substantial that we've seen from the administration since they unfurled these so-called reciprocal tariffs in the Rose Garden back in April. You recall how negatively the stock market reacted at that point in time. But these rollbacks, it was in a 98-page document where it was not just necessarily the bananas and beef and tomatoes that the likes of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had been teasing in the earlier part of last week, but it included a number of other types of exotic fruits, even down to the detail of guavas. Even spices were covered by this as well, cinnamon, for example. So these are all different types of ingredients that could be valuable inputs even as we get close to Thanksgiving. Again, that could be welcome news for Americans, although the nature of these tariffs, as well as the timing of all of this, it's a little bit unclear if actually Americans will see substantial price drops as they try to shop for Thanksgiving, which many people might already be doing right now.
And, you know, Brian, we heard from Kevin Hassett, the Director of National Economic Council, a little earlier in the segment. But this morning, he explained that we should be focusing more on purchasing power, less on inflation. Is that a fair assessment, you think?
Yeah, well, Kevin Hassett was talking earlier on another program, talking about the idea that if wages are outpacing inflation, then it doesn't really matter if prices are going up at the store, which most economists will say is absolutely true. And currently right now, if you look at the pace of wages, it is faster than the rate of inflation. But I think it does not take away from the psychological effect of people going to the store on a regular basis, noticing these grocery prices that they've been buying on a seemingly weekly basis going up. And when you talk about wages, there is also some truth to the fact that the government statistics, as far as we have so far, do show the rate of wage increases decreasing, which means that there could be concern that inflation might outpace wages at some point in the future. That is something that's warning economists.
Brian Cheung, thank you. Turning now again to Kelly at the White House. Kelly, the administration says that the tariff rollbacks are not in response to rising prices, but what is the president himself saying about the affordability concerns?
Well, Gabe, you know, they like to reject this notion that they are responding to rising prices because they argue that they've been able to bring about conditions that are better for the economy. So on its face, again, it seems the president is reacting to concerns in the public. The refrain that we learned from the election of a couple of weeks ago where Democrats had great success and the national conversation around affordability. So the president is arguing that his policies and his administration will make an improvement. And the tariffs have been a significant part of his overall view of how he is handling his second term by being able to bring money into the country. He says he will offer a rebate that remains to be seen if Congress would approve that to give Americans in certain income levels a check. And the president talked about the issue of affordability last night. Here's part of what he had to say.
We have a great economy. The prices are coming down. The Democrats like to use the word affordability, but their affordability was terrible. The problem with the Democrats, they lie. They do it so well. They talk about affordability, but I'm the one that's getting the prices down. As an example, they had the highest inflation in the history of our country. I have it down now to a normal level, and it's going down further.
So the president may say Democrats are talking about affordability, but now he's taking actions and steps also to address that same concern for Americans. Gabe?
Kelly O'Donnell, live for us at the White House. Kelly, thank you.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.